Welcome to episode 237 of the official Gamestitch Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Walton. As always, I'm joined by Dan Reamer.
Good morning. Good morning.
I can't tell if that was like an excited or a sleepy, kind of groggy.
That was all of the above.
Mm-hmm.
All of the above.
You stayed up too late.
I stayed up too late, and I worked too hard yesterday. So put those two together, and it makes Dan a mad person.
Yeah, that was on point too. That was good. A mad person. Do you blame? Are you blaming the work, or are you blaming your recreational time?
Both. Well, the work I blame because I don't like doing it in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
The recreational part, I don't blame the recreation myself. I blame me for it because I'm made bad decisions. So you can be upset about it, but there's really no one to be mad at. You just have to be willing to accept the consequences of your poor decisions.
Right. Which, I mean, at the point I'm in my life, I've obviously accepted that a long time ago.
Well, yeah, me too.
I'm falling asleep now, too. You hear the voice? It's going out.
I did. You're going away.
It's playing out like a minute and a half into the podcast.
Pulling a Howie.
Yep. I think you could trace all this back to Fortnite.
Fortnite, yep.
If you just want to jump into the real problem.
Yeah.
It's hours and hours of Fortnite.
Epic Games, you motherfuckers.
I like it a lot still.
It's a lot of fun. I'll tell you what. We've had this discussion before how I don't like Minecraft. Don't like resource management. I fucking love building in this game. I could spend all day just working on my fort.
Which I did not expect from you at all.
But man, I'm into it.
And I love the building. The building is very simple. And I hope there's more options coming from it. But I like the collecting a lot.
Which is so weird because there's nothing to it. All you do is chop stuff down.
I think it's seeing the numbers go up.
You just like the destruction part of it. That's what it is.
Like I don't even care about that. Like I just like seeing me have more of something. Especially something like you can control because you have to balance doing the quest and doing the side quest with stocking up all the shit you need to then go back and build.
Right,
and your teammates, you don't want to be that guy that's collecting while everybody else is dying.
Right, because you have to balance you're talking, I'm guessing, about balancing, like the time limits and stuff like that. The bonuses in each quest.
Yeah, and anything that pops up, like doing that versus just chopping down trees and cars and destroying houses, and you kind of have to balance the two. Or sometimes you just say fuck it and you collect stuff and whatever happens happens.
I've done that a few times. It's usually when I'm with strangers, though.
Oh, yeah. I'm a real piece of shit teammate with strangers because I'm like, whatever. You guys are starting up. You're ready to go. That's got nothing to do with me.
Oh, that pisses me off. Yeah, I mean, like if they're dying, I will go over and help them. If they're like haven't done anything in the building yet and they've come across an encampment, that's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But
if they start the Atlas and you're not even remotely over there,
no, fuck you. You deserve to die.
Like everybody I play with that's a stranger seems to be speed running the game.
Yeah. No, I haven't had that problem. So, a few people, but not apparently like you have.
There's 4 people for anyone who hasn't played. There's always 3 of us that are cool, and there's one dickbag. It's like I don't know how to play the game if I'm not progressing it. So they just run straight to the Atlas. They build it. They go find blue glow, and now we're fucking starting. I'm like, what's happening? Why?
That's something I'm afraid is going to happen with this game, though, and it's funny that you mentioned it that way. I can see this game running into trouble here before too long because it gets hard. Obviously, as you level up, it gets harder and harder to progress, which for me is not I don't care because there is so much other. There's side quests. There's this, that, the other thing. That actual mission progression doesn't really become the mainstay of my game time, but there are so many people out there that is how they measure a game and whether they're going to stay with it or not, and I can see it leveling off before too long. So it'll be interesting to see what happens then, if Epic makes some changes or what. But hey, as far as I'm concerned, Epic, you leave this fucking game alone.
You know, we played last night before you got on. We were playing with our friend Garrett, and we jumped in that one where the balloon lands. It's just like 18 minutes of collecting shit.
Yep.
We jumped in that, and they did shoot the balloon down, but they waited till there was like 2 minutes left.
Right.
So they were okay. We had like 16 minutes of collecting, and enough to max out resources, and they were okay. But just it seems like, if I'm ever in a room and I have 3 other people that I don't know any of, there's always one guy that just has to push the fucking envelope the whole time.
Yep.
Like we're proud of him. Like, don't worry about it, guys. I found the atlas. And they're like, well, we weren't looking for it, dick.
Right. Oh, I built it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, well, come on over and help me here.
Right.
Fuck you.
Also, it said use 60 pieces, and I used 61. Whoa.
Yeah, that motherfucker.
Yeah. That's happened to me a couple times now. Maybe not as deliberate as that guy, but a couple times I've had people go over their build limits, and I'm like, fucking pay attention.
Yeah, that's the thing, is they're not paying attention.
Yeah. This game is deep as fuck. It's definitely an onion, and it's easy to jump into. The systems are easy, but it is complicated and a lot going on.
Yep.
And there's a learning curve, and I think people pick it up, they don't know what's going on, and they just start building shit. Because the building is simple, and you can make a pretty sophisticated structure really quickly.
Right.
And they worry about how it looks. And you're like, this isn't your fucking home base, bro.
Yeah, just throw up some sheet metal and call it a fucking day.
Right. Slap 4 walls around the thing, and let's kill these zombies, and let's be done.
They're husks.
Yeah, I like to call them zombies, though, because they're clearly zombies.
They're husks.
Yeah, that's weird. That makes me think of corn.
I wonder... The story is somewhat... I guess I'm curious where... Like, are we ever going to find out what caused this? Anything like that? Or is the point just to kill them and build up your home base?
I don't know. It's not a super narrative-driven experience.
Right. Which, again,
so
is odd, because that's usually what I look for in a game.
Almost nothing about this game screams that you should like it.
Right, I know.
Almost nothing.
But I absolutely adore this game.
And the weird thing, you probably like it more than I do, and the weird thing with that is that everything about it screams that I should love it. I mean, it's resource management, it's third-person hack and slash, it's building.
Yeah.
It's a collectathon. Like, everything about it is right up my alley, and I do like it. But I'm still bouncing back and forth between that and Rocket League, which is turning into a real fucking job.
Yeah, I bet. I don't think
But the problem...
I didn't play... Well, I haven't been playing... I didn't play late at night very much this week, except for a few nights we were all on playing Fortnite.
The problem with Rocket League is if you don't use it, you lose it.
Right.
So, our skill, like even Howard jumped in for the first time since getting Fortnite the other night, and I said, like, Rocket League's one of those things you have to keep up, and he could immediately tell, like, he was not playing well.
Yeah.
And he said, like, you're right, I see that happening. And so I don't want that to happen, so I'm kind of jumping back and forth every other night, but it's tough to put, like, a high level of play in the 2 games.
And so we'll see, and I'm kind of in a lucky situation where I could do that, but the problem is a lot of times when you guys are getting on late at night, you're wanting to play Fortnite because you are just getting on. Whereas I can get home from work and I can play an hour of Fortnite, but knock out a quest, collect some stuff up, do some building, hour and a half, take a break, spend some time with wife, and then get on at 10 o'clock, 10:30, and I could play Rocket League with you guys. But just the way it's worked this week is when I'm getting on at that time, after playing Fortnite, because I did do the 2 hours of Fortnite thing, but then I get on and you guys are wanting to play Fortnite. So I'm like, hey, okay.
More Fortnite, right. I will say yesterday was one of the best days of video games that I've had in I don't know how long.
Yeah?
Because I woke up, had some stuff I needed to do, but I was like, before I do that, let me play a little Fortnite, because I had resources from the night before that I was too tired to use.
Okay.
So jump in, I build some shit, use all my resources up. I'm like, okay, I feel good. Get off the PS4, go run some errands, come back home, and I'm like, you know what? I think it's time to finally really jump balls deep into some Splatoon 2. And I played it for probably 2 hours, jumped off, got back on Fortnite, played like a quest or goofed off or did something on there. Got off there, made some lunch, jumped back in Splatoon, played for like 3 more hours. Jumped off there, jumped back into Fortnite for like maybe 30 minutes and did a couple things in there. Then watched a little TV. Then jumped back in, played some more Splatoon later on, and then got on and played Fortnite with you guys.
Yeah, that's the perfect day right there that you just described to me.
Those games are so like different that it feels so good. Bouncing between.
I miss having those days.
Yeah, it's been I don't know how long since that's happened, but it was extraordinary. I was like, you know what? This is okay. Like, this is all right. But I did a lot in between. Like, those little breaks I would take, I was getting shit done.
Right. I remember way back when, you're talking probably 15, 18 years ago now. I was single. I was just living on my own pad. And I had, like, GameCube.
God, I love the GameCube.
GameCube, PS2, Dreamcast. I knew I had all the systems. Well, my job at that time was I worked nights, 12-hour shifts, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, got paid for 40.
Yep.
And had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday off.
I worked a job a lot like that. I was Saturday, Sunday, Wednesday, 12 hours, 5:30 to 5:30, morning to night, and had the other days off.
I was 6 to 6. Night to morning.
And I played the shit out of stuff back then, and I haven't had a day like that probably since then where I really just fucking play. Because after like a few hours, I do get a little guilty. Like there are things I should do.
Right.
Like more than just feel sunlight on my skin. Like there are things I actually need to do. But yesterday I was like, I was so efficient in the morning.
That's feels good.
That I was like, I could fuck off for the rest of the day and still have completed enough that I feel okay about me.
Yep.
And man, Splatoon is more Splatoon, and that's exactly what I wanted that to be. It's not crazy, it's not different, it's just fucking Splatoon, and it's so good. A lot of people are shitting on the voice app. I haven't used it. I have used the app. It's kind of neat. The one thing I'll say about the app experience is kind of neat because it's one hub that tracks all your games that it works with.
Mm-hmm.
So if I open that app and I jump into Splatoon, it shows me like all my high level stats in there.
Okay.
Like, you know, win-loss versus your last 50, how much ink you've total splatted, like how, you know, your kill to death, all that stuff is in there. Which is, it's, looking at it now, you're like, well, they could just put that in the game, but it'll be really neat when all the games have their stats in there.
Right.
And so when you're at the basketball court with your switches set up in a circle, hanging out with your bros, you can pull out your phones and start a dig measuring contest on all your games. I think that part's kind of neat. The voice chat is a mess. You can't... If you close the app, it stops working. So you have to keep it active. Like, you can't answer a text message.
Right?
Yes, you can't answer a text message or, like, watch porn or anything. Like, it has to stay on that screen. And that seems not cool. Everybody's just using Discord, I think, to chat versus jumping in there. They're using Discord or Skype or whatever, which is fine. I mean, it's $20 a year for the whole service, you know, to play online with each other and everything. The voice chat is just it's a free app.
In this day and age, is that acceptable, though?
I think so, because there are plenty of other ways around it that work the same general way as Nintendo was trying to. Because, like Splatoon, I played in total probably more than 5 hours yesterday, and not once did I wish I could chat with somebody. Like, it didn't matter.
What if you were playing with your friends, though?
I still don't even know if it would matter. It's a great game to, like, play and then do, like, because there's like, in most cases, there's 30 seconds between matches.
Right.
So, like, I kind of enjoy, like, having that 30 seconds to do something. I like running the kitchen or do this or do that, or, you know, I had stuff cooking yesterday. I was, like, turning it between matches. Like, it's kind of nice to not be in chat and still be kind of playing with other people. And if I did want to play with other people, I would, you know, I could easily jump on Skype on my phone, throw it in my pocket with a pair of headphones on and move freely about my house.
I suppose so, but I don't know. I think you're being awfully lenient with Nintendo. I think if Sony did that, you'd shit all over them. What the fuck, Sony?
What's a little different? I'd have to be tethered to the system, and I don't want to do that in this day and age. I'm not wired to my system on anything anymore. And so the idea, because the controllers don't have, there's no way to plug in.
Well, that sounds like a design flaw. That's how that should work. It's something. Why not Bluetooth?
Well, because they might make one eventually. Some of the problem is that, the controllers, there's so many different configurations on how you could play it. So you do have a headphone jack on the system itself, but each Joy-Con doesn't have it. The Pro controller doesn't have it, because you'd have to put them on everything.
Right, I understand.
And so from that standpoint, I understand why everything doesn't have a headphone jack.
I just think in this day and age, it's unacceptable to have an easy way to chat that works.
Yeah, I just think they exist. I almost think Nintendo would have been better off to say we're not going to do one at all, because I don't think people are going to use this anyways, and I don't think anyone really even cares. Like, I think most people who were upset about it are totally fine now that they have done it a different way and realized it's really no work to do it that way. I guess. Very rarely do I ever play and my phone's not in my pocket anyways. So I could plug a headset into it, which then makes me mobile because it's in my pocket, and still have the same exact experience as I'm having if I was on my PS4. Like that's fine. It's no more work than me opening a party on the PS4 to click your name on Skype. The only difference being that when I go to my refrigerator, my headset won't cut out like it does now. Right. Because my phone will actually be in my pocket.
Yeah, I know.
Now, people who have like data issues or stuff like that and don't have Wi-Fi, maybe, if you're playing on the go or something and you've got a data cap, maybe that's a problem. But
right.
You're probably not playing the Switch on a hotspot anyways, unless you're, Thomas. So I feel like most places you'll have Wi-Fi. You could just connect that way. I just don't think it's as big as an issue as I thought it was going to be initially. Because I don't think...
I think it'd be interesting to see what your take on it would be, what your opinion would be on it if, like, you had 2 or 3 other people that you were playing with. Like, when we jump on the PS4, there's times where we're playing different games, but we're in party.
Yeah, we could still do that on Skype, though. Like, it just doesn't seem like it is a hurdle in any way. It's just a different program to connect to. But it's a device that they can guarantee that I have on me. Now, people that don't carry their phone around, maybe that's an issue.
It's not system dedicated, though. That's my problem with it.
Yeah, but...
in this day and age, it seems like it should be.
I don't know. The system is just different than that. The system is that I can grab it and walk around with it. I can go out on my back deck and play and then come back in and put it in my TV. That system just isn't built for, like, sitting in one place. Like, that's why Xbox and that's why Sony can do it, because you're sitting in one stationary place with a big fucking box.
Maybe.
This is not that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It just seems something a little lacking.
Yeah, I think Nintendo games don't, they lend themselves to a single-player experience more often than not.
Right.
Even when you're playing multiplayer, like, I still almost treat that like a single player. Like, not one time yesterday did I think, even when we had a pretty good team, not one time did I think I'd love to party up with these guys and just play exclusively with these bros.
Right.
Yeah, we were a great team. We destroyed that other team, but, like, that doesn't sound good to me. Like, I just want to get in another match and just play. Because part of, like, not winning all the time is what makes Splatoon so good, because so at the end of each match, it shows like a aerial view of the map, and you can see all the paint. And there are times where you're like, I can't tell if we won or not. And there's like 3 seconds that it makes you wait before it shows you the winner and the percentage that you had. And that stuff's really neat, like the anticipation. And if I won all the time, I don't think I would enjoy that game as much. Unlike Rocket League, if I won all the time, I would enjoy it more. I don't feel that way about Splatoon, and Splatoon has got tons of like fashion stuff and unlockable stuff, and it's also a collectathon, and there's new guns and new maps, and I really like it a lot. Everyone that has a Switch should own Splatoon. Even if you own the Wii U, and it doesn't matter. Everybody should own that game. Of course, everybody is apparently owning every Nintendo game anyways, as we're going to jump into in a bit.
Yeah.
So it's just jump in between Splatoon, Rocket League, and Fortnite, and same thing. Play late nights every night.
Yeah. And then yesterday I had to fix my wife's car, so.
You had to do real life shit.
Yeah.
Which I'm not about.
Real work. Real life. Me either. But there I was.
Did you think about getting a pickaxe out and getting some steel from it?
No. That never.
The Fortnite logic where you just whack it 6 times with a pickaxe?
No, because I understand that the Fortnite logic doesn't work in the real world.
I wish I'd have figured it out before I went to my neighbor's car.
Well, you can make it go away with the right amount of money. It's fine.
Insurance.
I don't know if that covers pickaxe.
Someone hit this car with a pickaxe, and they're like, "Sir, you're holding a pickaxe," and slowly move it behind your back, and you're like, "What?"
And
then you jump on the tire to try to get out of there, because that's how that works. Also, it bounces you right out.
Yeah, what you do is you chop the top off a fire hydrant.
Oh, yeah, you can do that too. I don't have one of those in my yard though, but the tire from the car that I just smashed, I could jump on. Bounce right out of that sticky situation.
I don't know. The tires turn into metal too.
Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't check out either, I don't think. I guess maybe the rim.
It's definitely not based in real world situations.
Right. Because sometimes you hit like a metal frame of like a window that's the thing is all wood all the way around it, but you get metal from it. You're like, there's very little metal here.
Yeah.
But it's fine because that's what I need. I need steel right now, so I'll let it slide. Gosh, Fortnite.
Yeah, I might like that game more than you do, which is odd.
No, I think you do. I think Howard also likes it more than me. I mean, I like it. You guys are like deep, like on another level with it. And I think Garrett probably likes it more than probably everybody likes it more than me. And I was like the first one excited about getting this game. It's fun, but I think I knew what it was going to be, and so for me, I'm a little like, it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. And a lot of these podcasts I listen to have been talking about it for years, so I'm like not surprised by anything yet.
Right.
And I also haven't jumped into it deep enough, I think, because I'm bouncing around, that stuff still confuses me about it.
Really?
Like some of the systems and stuff when you guys are like, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that. I'm like, oh, fuck that. I don't know that. Like, how am I supposed to know that? I work all day, I come home. How am I supposed to know that shit?
It warrants experimentation. Experiment with stuff.
Or a lot of YouTube.
Either one. That works too. Or Google, maybe.
Yeah, maybe Google.
Google works.
Fucking Google.
Love
if this
Google.
is your first time joining us, this is the official Gamestitch Podcast, a production of Gamestitch.com. We post every Monday, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. Central Standard Time.
Central.
Not Central.
Central.
Which is what happened the first time. Central Standard Time on podcast services around the world. If you could do us a favor, head over to whatever platform you listen on, give us a rating on there, tell your friends about us, that'd be great. You can also head over to patreon.com/GameStitch. Toss us a couple of bones over there. If you have no bones to toss, this podcast will always be free. So no worries there. And for those who do support us, thank you. You're going to get a shout out later in the show, but thank you now. Early thank you.
Shout out.
Premature thank you.
Pre-shout out.
Yeah. We'll do a pre and a post.
A pre-shout
really
out, a shout out, and then
a post shout out.
A post shout out.
That's too many. It's too many shout outs.
Yeah.
We're just going to do a pre and an actual shout out.
Right.
We're
not going to do a shout out after party or anything.
Oh man, that doesn't sound bad at all.
It sounds like a good time, right?
Yeah. You're still sick as
I'm
evidenced by that cough.
Yes. There's all these coughs. Yes. I am still coming off of it. I feel a lot better. But now I'm to the point where the stuff isn't just sitting in my chest anymore. All the fluids and stuff. Now it wants to come out.
You're coughing it up.
Yeah.
That's gross. That's the gross stage is what I call that.
Right. That's perfect.
Yeah, I think that's the medical term is you're in the gross stage.
It might be, but it is exactly that stage. Yes.
You're flimming it up. Any kind of thing that happens in your face could lead to snot coming out.
Yep.
Cough, a sneeze, a sniffle.
Yep, I could be cleaning out my ears, and all of a sudden, it could happen.
Now, you ever wake up with like a super stuffy nose, like can't get air through, total blockage, and then you tilt your head in a certain manner, and it drains like a fucking faucet?
I was just gonna say, and then you stand up.
Like, I don't know what it is, but there's that relief that comes from putting your head just in whatever happens, that spot, that atmosphere, where it drains, and you're like, fuck yes. Because you can try to get it out, you can't. Can't blow it out, can't suck it down, nothing. It's a brick wall, but then you're like, yeah, let me just get my toothbrush. Oh my God, yes. I'm like a new man. I don't know what happened.
That's when you need to get like double ply paper towels to blow your nose with, because when it comes, it's coming. It's all coming.
You ever look at it a little bit impressed of the amount of snot that you were just housing?
You're like, holy shit. Yeah, it's kind of... Why do people do that? Yeah, they always look at it, their snot, after they blow it. Why?
I assume it's because they want to make sure there's not blood in it. That's what I've always assumed when people look at their snot. It's kind of like when you take a shit and you just check it out to make sure everything looks legit in there.
Okay, that's fair.
Like, I'm not fascinated by shit. I just like to make sure everything looks like the plumbing's working fine.
Right.
You just take a look back at it and you're like, all right, right color, relatively right size, flush it down. Whereas, snot, you're like, I want to make sure there's no brain matter or blood in here or anything.
Then every now and then there's something that's just a little off because you ate something weird, or whatever. So now you're on WebMD going, okay, why the fuck is my shit green? Fuck. Right. Oh,
and they're like, either you had spinach or you're dying. And
like, right, one or the other.
Fuck,
right.
I don't remember if I had spinach or not. Fuck. Should probably go to my physician, as instructed by WebMD.
My poop.
Everything's
is green.
Like consult a doctor, because we're not fucking doctors.
Well, I kind of have to, because God, it's got to suck to be a doctor. Now people come in. Well, I got Google said this. Okay, well, I'm 125 grand a year for medical school. Well, I wasted my fucking time.
And you're like, it's not that though. And they're like, can you just check me for it though? Because I have all the symptoms.
Right.
Yeah, I mean I can, but it's 100% not that. But I'll check if you want. Yeah, check me. Well, your insurance doesn't cover it because it's not fucking that. Right. I still want it. Okay, here's your bill. Are you fucking out of your mind?
Right.
Why is this place so expensive? Well, because you got me running tests for shit you don't have. Because WebMD told you did.
Exactly.
Because you woke up smelling Lucky Charms. That means you have a brain tumor now.
Right.
Let's put you through a CT scan for no reason. Turns out someone in your house is just having cereal. And then also being a doctor is kind of like a fucking just you guess. You don't know.
Sometimes, yeah.
Because it could be 400 things. You're like, I don't know. Maybe this one. Nope. All right. Maybe this one. Nope.
Yeah. And then they just keep cycling through things that might be till something makes it go away.
Yeah, it's process of elimination that's what being a doctor is like. I don't think it's as much cold hard fact as doctors try to pretend.
Maybe in some cases, but not in like colds, flus.
I like to picture my doctors all sitting around in the back room going, man, I can't believe that worked. And then high-fiving each other. That's how I picture my doctors. Like they don't know what's going on. They're just taking a stab at it. Like when you walk up to that computer on Fallout.
Yeah.
You scroll down and you click a word and it's like access granted. You're like, well, fuck, I'm a genius. That's what I think being a doctor's like. Sometimes you get 3 wrong, though, and the people die.
Yeah, sometimes.
And you're like, well, fuck it. It's not a science. Exact science, and I'm a doctor. It's like being a weather person.
It's based on science, but it's not. Yeah.
It's like a weather person with more accountability.
There's definitely more accountability.
Because we've spoken in the past that weather person is the best job to have.
Yeah, because it is...
Zero consequences to being bad at it.
Right.
It's going to rain. Didn't rain. Well, it's fucking weather.
It's what my radar said.
Yeah. Earlier this morning it said rain. We're lucky enough to have missed it, so enjoy that sunny day out there.
It's windy outside. There might be tornadoes.
Yeah. That's the other thing that weather does is they always go straight to the worst.
Yeah.
So when it doesn't happen, you're like, man, he fucked up, but what a delightful day.
Right.
What a delightful day out there.
But my day is better because of it.
Right. Because they're like, it's going to be a tornado, and then when it's not, you're like, man, what shit weather, but luckily we didn't have that tornado he thought might hit. So it's a win. Thank God for my weather person for saving us from the tornado.
What a mess.
Or mudslide or hurricane or whatever natural disaster you have. Whatever way God's trying to tell you there's too many people in the world where you live.
So I was watching on the internet. I was looking at this graph the other day. We're speaking of weathermen and all that. We're doctors, people who make a lot of money at their chosen career path.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading this on the internet. This map by who in the state makes the most money. And it was like on the map, and it was each state.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just about everything is a football coach, a college football coach.
I mean, you got to put your dollars and cents where it's most important.
That's right. There's a few places where it's like And to be fair, and this is not to be, well, it's based on facts, so it can't be denigrating. Most of that was in the southeast.
Yeah, we love our football.
Southwest, Montana, Michigan, that area. The central states, the Corn Belt, I guess they call it.
Right.
And actually California was too, which kind of surprised me.
With the SEC and some of the stuff down here, the correlation is that the football brings in so much more than it probably does in, South Dakota or wherever,
South Dakota was like a football coach too. Maybe a basketball
I probably picked a bad
coach.
example, but you know what I'm saying? Like, Nevada.
Like New Hampshire was a hockey coach, or was it Vermont?
Right, but see, so hockey's bringing in money there where it's not bringing in any money down here. But, the fact that they can sell out any, Alabama can sell out any game, anytime, anywhere.
Right.
It translates into that they can pay Nick Saban $8 million a year because all he does is fucking shit out victories. So, as long as he's keeping the stands full, they'll pay him whatever he wants.
I just thought it was odd.
Who would you prefer that they pay a lot of money to? Like researchers?
I don't know.
Doctors? Making the world a better place?
I don't know. Somebody who's... There's some consequence to their action besides they have to go work somewhere else. Because let's face it, if Nick Saban starts losing, he's going to get fired, but he's going to go work somewhere else. That's the extent of...
100% of college teams would stand up and pay him more money if Alabama fired him.
Yeah.
To come coach there.
Yeah.
100% of college teams.
No doubt.
Even if a college team was like, we love our coach, but fucking Saban.
Yeah, exactly.
Like probably. Sorry. It's just bad timing. It's not personal. It's just bad timing because we got Nick here. Nick wins.
So, yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. I think it says something about our society today. Not to be fair, that probably holds all across. I'm sure over in Europe, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Soccer coaches are paid more than
I'm sure
anyone else. So,
since we're way off topic already,
all about priorities.
Shark Week was on this week, which I love. But there's a lot of people shitting on the Michael Phelps versus the shark.
Mm-hmm.
You seen the drama around this?
I'm aware of it. I don't really give a shit.
Yeah. So I like Shark Week. I like sharks. I don't have a problem with Michael Phelps. I like how much he wins.
Uh-huh.
But everybody who's upset about this can fuck off.
Why are they upset?
Because he raced a computer simulated shark.
Okay, what was he supposed to do?
Well, according to the people on the internet, they'd like him to jump in, convince the shark to run a straight line on like a set mark go, and then see who gets to the finish line first.
Gotcha.
Or a lot of people say this: you could build some sort of like acrylic tank and lower down in there. I'm like, how do you get the shark inside of it? How do you get him inside of it and then have him hold up until it's time to start?
Right. Because that's not how wild animals generally work.
Right. Hey, giant killing machine, can you go into the starting gate and just hold up till we give you the signal?
Now remember, don't do anything until they say go.
Right. Also, don't eat Michael.
Right.
Don't eat Michael.
Right.
He's gonna race you.
It's not quite how wild animals work.
He looks a lot like a seal. Don't eat Michael. Not a
very
seal.
long seal.
Right. Not a giant torso. Don't eat him.
So did he win?
No. Because no one thought he was faster than a shark. Really, all the show was about is they figured out a way to gauge the speed of sharks.
Right.
That's all the show was about. They just jazzed it up by throwing the most decorated Olympian ever in the water. He legit swam in open water that does have sharks in it.
Was he in a cage?
No. He swam in open water in South Africa. Now they had like boats, they had helicopters, they had drones, they had scuba divers in the water, other people to get bit before him.
Right.
They threw out, they chummed it with real people.
Right.
But he legit swam in open water, where there are sharks to make it fair because that was the water that they gauged the shark in.
Uh-huh.
But it was really just about measuring that. And in every interview he did leading up to it, he said, obviously I'm not racing a real shark. He said that.
Right.
But people are fucking stupid and don't listen.
People are
Never
stupid.
was he like, I'm going to jump in, I'm going to pay a shark $500 and we're going to do this thing. But then it comes out and everybody's like, it's not even a real shark.
People are dumb.
No.
You know that.
He's worth millions of dollars. Of course it's not a real shark. It was fun. It looked pretty badass when they like superimposed the shark behind him when he was swimming. It looked pretty badass. Because on the show they put them in lanes and they showed you like the aerial view and then they would show you underwater.
Right.
So you're looking like through him and the shark is on the other side of him and you're like, fucking creepy.
How much faster was the shark?
2 seconds faster. And that's another thing people had problems with. They're like, obviously sharks are faster than that. But they tried to gauge like how long a shark can use its speed burst.
Right. Because they can't just go.
Right. So if a shark can hit 25 miles an hour, it can't just do it indefinitely. Like they get tired too.
Right.
And they also use the different like speed burst, regular cruising speed, and then the speed when it hits a fucking seal from the bottom. Ooh. Because that's like their max, like 25 mile an hour leaving the water speed. So they used all three of those things to kind of produce what they thought a shark could do, max performance.
Gotcha.
And in Phelps, they made him some sort of like super flipper feet things, and they put him in like simulated shark skin wetsuit. They gave him every advantage they could too. But it was just like, it's all for entertainment. Like I never thought they were going to like set him up with a shark.
That would be entertaining too, though.
It would, but I would just be like, how does this work? Also, is this cruel to the animal? I don't know.
It's just swimming. I don't know.
But you got to lock him in like a box and get ready for him to go and then open it up like you do for horses. Then you have to hope that he's like, let me go to the other end as fast as I can.
They've been doing that in SeaWorld for 50 years, so. And it was fine.
SeaWorld, a hot button topic for a lot of people.
I know. That's why I said it.
The last orca born in captivity just died.
Yep.
3 months old. Something to think about. Also, though, how sad you're going to be when you can't see a killer whale anymore. Also something to think about.
Okay.
I liked seeing them when I was a little kid. I liked blackfish a whole lot. I don't think I even really have a problem with SeaWorld. Like I get what that documentary was saying. I mean, I understand. I understand it's like putting them in a bathtub compared to the ocean that they're already in.
Right.
But a lot of them are born in captivity.
Some are.
Now I don't like when you go yank one out of the ocean. But if you're born in it, it's all you fucking know. Now, somebody has a cat that's never been outside. Nobody's like, how fucking cruel is that? They're fine. They're like, I don't want the cat to get run over. Cats are stupid. They'll roll in front of a car. Boom, done.
Yeah, or get picked up by a falcon or
who
knows
but
what.
Fucking owl just kill you. You're like, really, cat? Fucking owl. But then when no one says that's cruel, when really they're in like a bathtub compared to the open world that is, free range cats, feral cats.
Feral cats.
Feral cats. No one's raising hell about domesticated cats.
That's true.
But
But we also don't prance them around for entertainment and take people's money to see them.
Dude, how many cute cat videos are on the internet, though?
Yeah.
Of them doing cat shit.
They're not charging, though. It's all donations.
Where's the research? I mean, all the research that comes from SeaWorld, that's real research. There are very smart people and smart... veterinarians and marine biologists that work at SeaWorld that do a lot of really good things.
I understand that, but it's still a corporation, and the almighty dollar is still the winner.
Oh, 100%. But if you take that away, does that research still exist? Because where does the money come from to do it?
It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah. Like maybe we do have to have them do a flip in order for, you to come want to pay for them. Now, I like the idea of a much bigger tank where they don't train them. They just let them be fucking whales. But you have to understand there's no amount of a tank that's going to be
as big as the ocean?
To make... Yeah. What people want them to do is rope off an ocean and they'd be like, why the fuck can't I see them? I paid $23. Why can't I see them? Well, they're in the ocean, so they're just not in front of the glass right now.
Yeah, people get pissed off at the zoo when they are enclosed, but they're in their little cave.
Yeah, people don't shit on zoos very hard, though. I've been to a zoo before where a grown man was hitting the chain link fence going, where the fuck is the tiger? He's not even out. I'm like, he's like stuck in a zoo, though. Like, sorry if he let you down. He's a little disappointed, too.
He might be depressed. He might be going through a stage of depression. Just
right.
Have some understanding, bro.
But it's not that I doubt that any of the animals are taken care of. They're not wild. That sucks.
Yeah.
That part sucks. But there are some situations where they can't be. You know, some of them are injured, some of them are fucked up. They'll go out there and just get picked apart.
Right.
You know, so, you know, maybe it's a better life for those. Some of them, you know, it sucks. They yank them out from their mamas, throw them in a cage.
Yeah, that's shitty.
Yeah. But I like zoos, too.
They're all right.
I try to balance when I'm at a zoo. Like, oh, it's cool to see this. Also, that sucks for that thing. I try to balance those two feelings.
I don't know. Zoos are a lot of walking. I'm not big on that.
Well, and it's just a thing, like, trying to, like, survive in the space they've given it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, look at that gorilla eating a banana. Well, what the fuck else is he supposed to do?
They do some really cool things at some of the zoos. Like in the Nashville Zoo, the monkey pen is fucking awesome.
Yeah. A lot of places try really hard.
Right.
But in the grand scheme of things, it's still a very small environment they're
Yeah,
given.
it's still not the jungle. It's still not the mountains.
Right.
It's still not a field. The giant rolling plains of...
Right.
With amber waves of green, whatever.
Right. There's that place in Holenwald, Tennessee, that does the elephant, end of life elephant care.
Yeah.
So when they yank them from circuses and zoos and stuff, they throw them out there. Well, public can't go there.
Right.
It's just an elephant sanctuary in the middle of Tennessee, which doesn't make any fucking sense. And these elephants just roam about. And that's great, but, like, how is that place funded?
Yeah, it's like in the Springdale, Arkansas, they have a buffalo bison sanctuary.
It's weird. Though I could see that before I can see elephants in Tennessee.
Well, yeah, I get that. I mean...
At no points were elephants accidentally here.
No, we've brought them over.
Right. Like, at no point were they just, like, roaming about Tennessee.
Maybe way back when you had, like, mammoths, which is a descendant, or an ascendant of...
Even then, I feel like they weren't here. I feel like they skipped Tennessee.
Maybe, you don't know. You weren't there.
I mean, I can assume. I never found, like, a tusk or anything in the backyard.
I've never found a tusk I've never found any bones in my backyard, so that doesn't mean that no animals have never been here.
I mean, you're probably not checking for bone, though.
You're not either.
I go out every weekend on a bone expedition.
Yeah, you love the bone. I know that.
I call it going boning's what I call it.
I know.
We need to talk about video games.
You told me.
We're almost an hour in. And we haven't talked... I mean, we talked about Fortnite a lot.
We talked about Fortnite, yeah.
Let's keep that going. Let's keep Fortnite going. I'm going out of order. I'm going rogue on these news stories. Fortnite's scheduled to launch in full sometime next year as a free-to-play game. We've talked about that. Right now it's in early access. You can pay for early access, and it would appear that a lot of people are doing so.
Yep.
Because on Twitter, the director, Darren Sugg, revealed that over 500,000 people have already purchased Fortnite in early access, which is awesome and great, and I love it. Now, my question for you, when you buy some of these more expensive editions, it comes with other copies.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they're counting those in this 500?
That's interesting. I don't know.
I think they are.
I would think they would probably have to be.
Right.
Because it's a game.
You're
paying
purchasing
more for that game.
Part of that price is the extra game.
Right.
It's at a discounted price, obviously. But if you buy the super duper handjob edition, it comes with like 2 copies plus yours.
Yeah.
So that's 3 copies sold every time they sell one of those.
I don't think that's actually what it's called, but I like that better.
Yeah, the name escaped me. But it's something that you're like, ooh, I'd like to have that. So it's similar. The HJ edition.
Maybe a BJ edition.
Yeah, it's too much work.
For who?
Everybody.
I'm only about the work on my end.
I mean, the work on your end's the same.
Right. So...
Unless you're given the BJ, in which case it's not.
Why not get the free upgrade?
It's never free. No upgrade's ever free, folks. If anyone ever offers you a free upgrade, it's not. It's something to think about. So I think when they're saying 500,000, that's a great number. It's impressive. A week of sales, but I think a lot of this game's been in beta for years and years and years, so it has a built-in fan base.
Mm-hmm.
So you knew you were going to see a big pop at the beginning, and then also, it's a really good game, and it's so much about playing with people you know.
Yeah,
teaming up
without a doubt, getting together with your friends and living in this world more so than maybe any multiplayer game I played before.
So like the idea of like we all needed each other to buy it, so that sells 6 copies of it.
Right.
Or, and how many times does that happen to how many different groups where like, oh, this game is awesome, but I need people to play with it. Well, I'll get it too, and I'm going to tell this guy to get it. And, it's very much lends itself to that kind of audience. And these numbers don't surprise me. I'm happy for them because I think it's great. And I hope this means that they will tread carefully when it's time to go free to play. Don't forget where you came from.
Yeah, remember.
I'm not saying don't go free to play. That's always been the business model. I'm okay with it. Just tread lightly when it's time to go there.
Yeah.
And don't let these new people fuck the game up.
That's my concern. Hopefully those new people coming in free to play will be not as we'll be playing at a different level than they will, so we won't come in too much contact with them until they've learned the ins and outs of the game and leveled up and that. So I feel like in that sense it may work out okay.
So they've not even dated the free to play version yet.
No.
And they're just saying early 2018, but I think a lot of the time that we have right now, because this game's been in beta for so long, they're very aware of what the game needs and doesn't need.
I think so.
This isn't early access in the sense that we want to see if people want to make changes to it. It's not that. This is, let's test the servers. Let's give people a chance to get out of the way before everybody hits it. And let's also try to make some money for us.
Yep.
And I think the time frame they're giving us, it's July. If it doesn't, even if it comes out in January, we're going to be so far out of the way of all the new people.
Right.
And it's going to be able to pair them together to play.
Exactly.
I think it will be fine. But that's the one concern I have. Is that, like, don't forget... Now, they already gave us 15 free llamas for being
believers.
Early adopters. Right, believers. And let me tell you, it worked. I was like, you're welcome.
Not to be confused with believers. It's not believers. It's believers.
That little bastard canceled the rest of his concerts.
I know, because he's, a born again now or something? Is that what I read?
Yep. Found Jesus, can't do concerts.
That's what I heard.
Maybe you shouldn't have sold tickets to him. So.
Right. It's not very Christian of you there, Justin.
But I gave them money in exchange for a game. And then they gave me something else for buying that game, and that goes a long way for me. Like, our transaction was over. I gave them money, they gave me a game.
Yep.
But for them then to revisit and say, hey, we appreciate you. It's very like CD Projekt Red with that note in the case. Like, it goes a long way for someone to be like, hey, we thank you for, doing that. I'm sure this was always part of the plan. They didn't do it because 500,000 people bought it.
No.
But they did it because people are buying a game that will eventually be free, knowing that it will be free. Like, they have not hidden the fact it's a free-to-play game. No one's going to be confused about that unless you don't do your research, and that's on you.
100%.
But I love the way they're doing this. I'm super happy for them. Not that Epic is, like, struggling or anything.
What I'm hoping they do is, like I said, I'm kind of yawning. Shit. I hope when the game does go free to play finally, that us people who bought it and been playing it for 6 months get something, or they throw in some new stuff once it goes free to play along the lines of cosmetic things.
Yeah, and they might like some OG shit. You're also seeing a lot of stuff now as like founders, founders pistols, founders guns. There are founder coins that you get. Founder packs, things like that. I assume once the game goes free to play, that will disappear.
That'll go away.
There's also like daily login bonuses. You get yours, and then you also get a founder's login bonus.
Yep.
So a lot of things that they're doing right now, I think they are catering to this crowd. It just doesn't feel like it because everyone's a founder.
Right.
So you feel like you're getting the same thing as everybody else, but whenever the experience is full free to play, those people I don't think will get this.
It's going to be a lot more important when.
And we're going to have all the shit at that point.
So hold on. Here's actually what I'm saying. Hold on to your founders stuff.
Mm-hmm.
To any of your founders pistols, your founder's weapons, because I feel like once the game goes free to play, those are going to go away. And you may be able to offer them on trade for some pretty sweet shit if you got someone out there who really, really wants it.
That's one of the things I struggle with because I am a hoarder in all video games.
Uh-huh.
And backpack size will not allow you to be a hoarder in this game.
No, you can't. It actually does very well with that.
Like, I'm struggling hard to play this game and keep everything.
That's part of the balance of the game. It's doing that on purpose.
It's like I only use 4 weapons. I don't need any of the other ones, but I want them all.
Because this game would not be as much fun if you could just blatantly just run through. And just
but that's not the... Yeah, people could use it that way, but that's not the reason I want to keep them all.
Well, no, I know that. But that's how most people would.
Now, they did put in a collection book, which is kind of a way to, collect them and not have to hold on to them, which is neat.
But you can't use them.
Right. But I do like... But I would like to see everything be in there, and it doesn't appear that everything is in there.
No,
because I really like collecting the stuff and getting the stuff. Like, I don't really care about losing them because I'm like, oh, but look, I had them. You can see how much I had.
Mm-hmm.
This game is smart. It does a lot right, but that backpack size is fucking stressful.
It's on purpose.
It is on purpose, but it stresses me out.
It doesn't me. I just throw shit in my collection book. Recycle shit, transform shit. I just do it all.
How's the transforming even work? I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, it works on, what's the one I'm trying to think of? It's similar to Rocket League.
Oh, so you just trade it in and get a better...
You trade in like 5 things. And it tells you what you're getting up front, like rare range schematic.
Okay.
Or whatever.
And you can only go up to so high, I assume, until you unlock the better transformation.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That's neat. I haven't got that far yet. The skill tree is...
I only did it once because I've got like way too many survivors.
Yeah, the skill tree is deep.
There's a lot going on there.
A lot going on with the skill tree, so there's a lot that I have not unlocked yet.
And don't forget the research tree.
Which is separate from the skill tree.
Which is also deep.
But works very similar to the skill tree.
Right.
But it's a time-based reason to get on and play every 5 hours.
Along with your expeditions.
Yeah, those are a little wonky for me. Every time I ever do anything and come back, it wants me to like cycle through those expeditions.
Yeah, me too.
Pisses me off because I don't like the exclamation marks.
I know you don't.
If none of this makes sense, then maybe you should give Epic $39.99 and play the game.
Yeah.
Or wait till next year.
For free.
Yeah. We've already quit playing it and playing something else at that point.
Yeah.
Or maybe not Dan. Dan might retire on this game.
I might.
Might be the last game he ever has to spend.
I'm a professional Fortnite player.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to go Switch or Overwatch for the next story?
Let's knock out Switch. It's pretty similar to this story, so
we got two. We got
Switch.
2 Switch stories, so we'll stay with the sales, and then we'll jump back to the other weird one.
That was
one's
my
not
plan.
a Switch story, one's a Nintendo story.
Fucking Nintendo.
So Nintendo announced finally a little data in their quarterly earnings on where the Switch is, and it is at 4.7 million units.
In 4 months.
Now, so this is a shipped number, not a sold number, but if you've been to your store, you realize they're one and the same.
Yeah,
because there are no Switches on the shelf. Right. So take it for what it is, 4.7 million units. That's almost 5 million units since it launched in March.
It's a lot.
They are predicting by March of next year it will be at 10 million units, and pretty much at that point. How much did the Wii U do? Was it 8 or 12? 12 million?
In the first year? Or overall?
No, lifetime.
14 maybe?
Yeah, this thing is going to outsell the Wii U hand over fist, and Nintendo they've done it again. I mean, like everything that we talked about before, the Nintendo finds a way to bail themselves out. Every other generation when everyone else has given up on them, and it's not through horsepower.
No, they're still assholes though.
Yeah, maybe. I for some reason think Nintendo has been way less assholey lately.
I do too. Actually, yes. I think I talked about it a couple weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, whatever. But they are slowly coming back. They're just doing some things right for me.
Right. They seem to really be trying to. Someone at Nintendo seems to be listening to the people who purchase the items that they make.
Yeah.
And that goes a long way because that's what they were missing for so long. Especially with the Wii U, when everyone's like, hey, this is wrong. You're not doing this right. They're like, yeah, well, Nintendo.
Yeah.
They're not doing that here, and it's a breath of fresh air for Nintendo.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's nice to
and
see it.
Everyone should own a Switch. Like, it's really good. There are tons of games to play for it. Like, it's really worth the money.
Yeah, one day.
And like, I don't have a problem telling anyone to go buy a Switch today. Like, I don't have any problem with that. Like, I think there's enough there now already from March to July. I think there's enough there already to purchase one. And then as further evidence, they also released some data on games sold. Breath of the Wild has sold 3.92 million copies sold on 4.7 million systems.
So just about everybody who's buying...
It's an astonishing number.
Is buying Breath of the Wild.
That is insane. Now, for a while, it was over 100% attach rate.
Right. I remember that.
So it has evened out a little bit, but that is still crazy. Mario Kart Deluxe, 3.5 million copies. Again, just massive numbers when you're looking at 4.7 million units out there. And even ARMS, which is a lot of people have been on the fence about, 1.18 million copies sold. And people are getting ARMS and liking ARMS. Like, I know someone who got ARMS, and they're like, it's fun.
Yeah, the Mario and Zelda isn't really that astonishing. When you consider that, and this is one thing Nintendo did really good with this rollout, some of their very nostalgic properties, their air quote Nintendo properties, released with or real close to launch with the Switch.
And wait and see what Mario Odyssey is going to demolish sales.
And there's more coming. So Nintendo really did software rollout right.
Mm-hmm. It was very smart to have Zelda. Zelda might have even been smarter than having Mario at launch.
Yeah, I think so, because it's been so long since we had a true,
and it's really Zelda. Good, too. Like, it's really good. That's the other thing, is they didn't just say, we're going to have a Zelda at launch. Like, they made a really, really good Zelda. The best Zelda I've ever played at launch. And that's a huge deal, because you needed to have something you could play for 100 hours, because there wasn't anything else when it came out.
Right. And just about the time you were finishing up, out comes Super Mario Kart.
Bam! Mario Kart Deluxe 8, Dick's Heart again. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Playing that. Bam! Here comes ARMS. Here comes, all this other stuff. I'm playing Snake Pass on there. I'm playing Splatoon on there. I still jump back in, play Zelda. I mean, I love the Switch. I play it a lot. They're gonna do really well.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think they're gonna do really, really well. There's another stat. I don't know if I copied it here. I don't think I did. So, Amiibo are still selling like crazy. I forget what it was, but it was like insane number on what they've done since March. And a lot of that, of course, tied to Zelda, things like that. But the most mind-blowing part of all of this isn't even accurate, because Nintendo still can't make anything fast enough.
Right.
Like, these are still not accurate numbers, because people still can't find Switches. No one can find the Zelda Amiibo. Like, they would do even more money if they made more of everything.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Supposedly they're working on, but
this doesn't take into account any of the NES Classic sales. Like, they're doing very well right now.
Yeah. Very,
very well. Very, very good for Nintendo, and we all know from the past that allows them to fuck up next generation. So
yeah,
this money's important. It's necessary for their on again, off again cycle.
It's probably coming. The classic Nintendo fuck up is on its way.
Yeah, not to be confused with the classic NES.
No, or
the classic SNES, which is also on its way, but not to some people. Story number 2, and
not
a fine
the people
segue.
who pre-order it at Walmart.
So it popped up. The internet went on fire. Go over to Walmart. You can pre-order this thing. everybody jumps over their pre-orders that they're like, my life is good again. I've got one on the way. And then people start getting cancellation notices. Now, the first batch of cancellation notices, from what I understand, had like, hey, your payment was declined or this or blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. Then Walmart came out and said, look, we didn't mean for that to go live. We're not taking pre-orders yet. Everyone is going to see a cancellation notice here. Our bad.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that. See if you can somehow find a way to fuck yourself, because that's all the energy we're giving it. Not even like a $5 gift card or anything.
Nothing.
Sorry.
Just that's Walmart.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yep. Sorry, not sorry.
Yep. Sorry, not sorry. This is Walmart. Blue vest. Sorry, not sorry. And a lot of people upset. But you know what? If Walmart put those pre-orders up tomorrow, all those same people would pre-order
it again.
Yep.
Without a doubt.
And that speaks to the strength of
Nintendo.
Yeah. And a lot of people saying this was on purpose. Like, this glitch was not a glitch because it's a way for Nintendo to gauge, it's conspiracy theory people come out saying it's a way for Nintendo to gauge, how many they should make.
If they would have picked somebody that's not Walmart.
Nintendo already knows how many they're going to make. And let me tell you one thing Nintendo doesn't worry about is how many they should make.
Right. Never. Of anything.
Right. Like, they look... There is apparently one factory in all of Japan that can make plastic things.
Yeah.
Because Nintendo has to stop making amiibos to make Switches, and then they have to stop making Switches to make controllers, and they have to stop making controllers again to make the NES Classic, and they have to stop making those so they can start making amiibo again so they can eventually get back to making NES Classics. So whatever happens in the manufacturing process at Nintendo, it is wacky because they cannot apparently make two things at once. Or it's all part of the business model. Less money out, more money in. I don't know what they're doing, but it is absolutely working. And it's working in the way that I'm happy with Nintendo. I feel like they are trying to do Nintendo friendly or customer friendly, consumer friendly. They're trying to make consumer friendly choices, and I think it's paying off. And I'm happy with them. Happy with my Switch. If you're on the fence about it, I say buy one. If you're waiting for the SNES Classic, good luck. That thing's going to be hard as shit to find. Just like the NES Classic was. So, we'll see what happens there. We're going to move on to the next story. Dan has abandoned me on video feed. He left the room. I'm solo on this podcast again. He doesn't know this conversation is happening. This is a little behind the scenes I'm letting you guys in on. When he comes back, I'm just going to keep talking as if I never let on to the audience that he was gone. But I want you to know that I'm the anchor, that he has left me to carry this podcast alone. And I see no signs of him returning. I see a closed door. There's a little light peeking out of it, like maybe it didn't shut all the way when he shut it. Like there's just a little gap of light. He's coming back now, so I'm going to jump right back into the next story. So, Overwatch. We talked about it last week. Overwatch has got a pro league coming. It's got they got some fancy owners. We got Robert Kraft, owner of the New England Patriots. We got Jeff Wilpon, Chief Operational Officer for the New York Mets. We talked about the teams and what a big deal that was, but it turns out that Blizzard is taking it ultra fucking serious because they lay down the law on the rules for these owners.
No shit. Blizzard has gone to the wall for these players and said, look, here's how it's going, bitches.
Right. Now, I don't want anyone to think this came out after the fact to the owners. They knew what they were getting into.
Oh, yeah. It's not like all of a sudden they were like, oh, by the way, all you rich old white dudes, you know what?
Ooh,
here's a dick in your butt.
Right.
They didn't.
They knew what they were getting into. But let me give you some of the hard facts on what Blizzard's expecting, nay, requiring of these team owners. Short version of this: they are to be given 1-year contracts, salaries of at least $50,000, health insurance, retirement savings plan, housing during the season, and at least 50% of performance bonuses, which Blizzard defines as money from winning playoffs and other league events. During Season 1, those winnings amount to a total of $3.5 million with a minimum of $1 million awarded to the champion team. So if they won $1 million, they would have to give them half of that.
Yes.
What this doesn't in any way indicate is what happens with sales from things like jerseys and branded items.
Oh, you know how that happens.
Of your favorite Overwatch team. So if Dan's rocking his New England fuckface jersey. You know, Robert Kraft probably got all that money.
Yeah.
But, you know, good for him because he's trying to make a thing a bigger thing, you know. It takes money to make money. Those people are putting it up. There's got to be some back end for both parties here. Your athletes, if you will, need to be compensated, and your owners need to be compensated. It's how it works with every other league.
I'll tell you what, this that's a pretty good package they're putting together for them Overwatch players.
$50,000 a year in a 401k, health insurance. Where do I sign up?
Yeah, a house.
A house. Yeah,
they're paying me $50,000, and I don't have to pay a mortgage.
But you had a good point earlier before we were recording. That's like a training facility.
Right, exactly.
It'd be crazy to expect the Patriots not to have somewhere to practice.
Right.
So if your top Overwatch player is practicing in a cracked inn that he lives in, that's not the best. You know, that's not the best environment for his young, soft, squishy brain to flourish. So I get it.
State of the art housing facility.
Right, but I know they're also probably not tossing them up in like a 2-bedroom, 1-bath either. Like they're probably
they're not sticking them in a studio apartment. I promise.
Right, they're not throwing them in a loft. Like they probably got a pretty nice place. Which is good for the teams. LA teams are fucked here. Whereas the team in like New England, probably put them up in a he could scoop up Aaron Hernandez's house for a song and put them up in that thing.
Yeah, but you're going to be trying to buy him a little bungalow for $7.2 million on there.
Yeah, San Francisco.
Yeah.
$24 million to put them up in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath.
Yeah.
Poor San Francisco. People just shitting on the sidewalk everywhere, the way I understand it, too.
They are, like, literally shitting on the sidewalk?
Yeah, a lot of feces around.
In San Francisco? Human feces?
Yeah, human feces. Homeless. In some cases, probably just people that want to shit outside.
Gotcha. I wasn't sure where you were going with that. I'm like,
I can't confirm that all of those people.
Is this a protest or what's happening?
I don't know. A lot of the podcasts I listen to are in San Francisco where the game stuff is at, and apparently dodging human feces on a sidewalk is a game that they play daily.
Huh.
Which has got to be a new low when you step in human shit outside. Because you know how you feel when you step in dog shit. You're like, really,
you're
dog,
angry.
You could have shit anywhere. Right.
Right, yeah.
But if you walk out and step in a human pile of shit.
Yeah, different breed. Different breed. Different species, to be honest.
Different, yeah, totally different species, actually. We talked about Nintendo.
Yeah.
Talked about Fortnite. Talked about Overwatch. For Honor. Here's another thing people are upset about. Just For Honor in general. The servers have had nothing but problems. If you look at Garrett Wade's Twitter, he has voiced his issues with this game to Ubisoft and anyone else that'll listen.
And anyone else who wants to hear it.
It seems that after like 7 years of this game being in the wild, Ubisoft has finally decided to do something about it. So they're adding dedicated servers.
About fucking time.
Right. There's been petitions, there's been angry YouTube videos, there's been internet sites dedicated to begging for this game to have dedicated servers. It's a cool game, it's a cool concept, it's doing something different. It didn't work well enough for people to be able to play against each other.
I think wasn't going P2P servers?
Yes, it was. So it was peer-to-peer, and even in the beginning there weren't any kind of consequences to people quitting, and it was just, the whole thing was not a good setup. So the way it now works like games that have dedicated servers, for those who don't know, you both connect to a server.
Yes.
Versus connecting to one of the people, resulting in someone having great ping, great, frame rate, all that stuff, and the other person struggling. Now, some games do peer-to-peer great. They don't have any problems. You never even know.
Mm-hmm.
For Honor, not one of them.
No, I think there was probably way too much going on in 4 Hour to make that viable anyway. So I'm not sure what Ubisoft was thinking.
A lot of people giving Ubi a tip of the hat right now, saying thanks for making it right. I'm going to say no. You should have made it right a long time ago.
In the first place.
They're in this weird space where they keep putting games out, and people are like, I don't know, and then they make it right.
Yeah.
Just try to do it right quicker, maybe. And for a lot of other things they have. Rainbow Six Siege, they saved that game. That game rose from the ashes.
Apparently that game is amazing.
That game was dead on arrival. And Ubi found a way. Like, when no one was playing that game, they came out and said, we're going to support this with DLC for 2 years.
Yeah.
When no one was playing that game, and people were like, wait, what is it? What? They put it on some key sales. They let people start playing it, and same thing. People told their friends, who told their friends, who told their friends, and that game is like on the sales charts now.
Yep.
The Division. That game is totally different than what it started as.
Yes, it is.
The vanilla Division is we're so far away from that that it's not even funny, and that game has a huge following. And this comes out, people are like, I don't know, For Honor's got a lot of fucked up shit going on, but people keep playing it, they keep carrying it, and now they're fixing it. But on this one, I say they took too long.
Probably.
They took a lot of people.
For considering what the game is, this should have been done either from the start or very shortly after the problems occurred.
I guess where the Division and the Tom Clancy are different. Wildlands another great example too of a game that they are molding into what the people want it to be. But I guess the difference in all of those other games when we're talking about Siege or For Honor, or not For Honor, Siege or the Division or Wildlands, those games were already they were playable. The problem was never playable. It was just shaping it in what people wanted it to be.
Yes.
Whereas this is a totally different experience in that you weren't able to
do anything.
Garrett has told me personally, like, he loves that game.
Yeah.
The game is great.
But he's never been able to finish a match.
Can't play with anybody, right? So, tip your hat to them, whatever you want to do. I'm not going to here. I think it took too long, but
this one
good
did.
on them for finally making it right, is what I'll say.
This one took too long, but they have been much better about getting things right.
Now we got 3 quick ones. These are fun. These are cleanup stuff. One of them's a story I missed last week. The other 2 are free games. So let's jump into PlayStation Plus free games for August 2017. On PS4, you have Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry. Yeah, it's whatever. Just Cause 3. Now this is exciting for me. I wanted to play this game, but never bought it.
This one seems like it's going to be kind of fun.
Yeah, I'm pumped for that.
This one I'm going to get.
PS3, we have Snake Ball and Super Motherload. On Vita, we have Downwell, which is cross-buy with PS4, in a game that everyone should have. If you have ears right now on a PS4, you should have Downwell.
Except me.
No, everybody should have Downwell.
It's not my kind of game.
It is the perfect game to spend 20 seconds with.
It's not my kind of game.
And level 22, I don't even know what that is. It probably sucks.
It's a game. And Xbox announced their monthly August 2017 games with gold. Xbox One, August 1st to the 31st, we have Slime Rancher. I have no idea what that is.
Me either.
August 16th to September 15th, we have Trials Fusion.
Trials
I know
Fusion
what that
was
is.
Great.
That's fun.
That was great. Yeah.
Xbox 360. From August 1st to the 15th, we have Bayonetta. Again, a good game. Mm-hmm. And August 16th to the 31st on the Xbox 360, we have Red Faction Armageddon. Which is
pretty strong lineups.
That's not both. A bad. Yeah, for both sides, really, not bad.
The best time to be getting free games
is always. No, it's always.
You should absolutely play Downwell. You should absolutely play Just Cause 3. I think I'm absolutely going to play Just Cause 3.
I'm going to download Just Cause 3.
You should probably give Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry a chance. The PS3 stuff, take it or leave it. You should play Trials Fusion. If you have not played Bayonetta, you should play that. And Slime Rancher's interesting. It sounds like something I'd like.
Yeah, without even knowing anything about it, yes, it does.
It sounds like something I'd be interested in.
It does.
Yep. So this next story is one that I missed that I just wanted to quickly bring up for you, Dan, because I know how much you love the first game. So some of you are going to be like, this is a week-old news. It is. Also, this is our podcast.
We can do whatever the fuck we want to, so shut your pile.
Yeah. Try to pull stories that are important to us. This is one I missed. So I pulled it a week later. So what? Cut this podcast off if you don't want to hear this old story.
That's right. You got a stop button for a reason.
Right. Skip the next 15 seconds and move on with your life. You see what I've done here? They have to know what it is, so now they have to listen.
Right. That was all built up.
No one's skipping it now. They all want to know what I'm about to talk about.
I know.
So I've built in that audience for this, even though it's an old story. You shitbags are sitting around waiting for me to tell you something that's a week old. Because you don't know what it is.
That's right. That's right.
It's a mystery.
You're a puppet on the strings.
Wow, we're getting cruel right now.
Ooh, what'd I do there?
You know what I think when I think puppets? I think those little NSYNC, the NSYNC puppets? You remember those things, like the little marionette dolls?
Yeah, I don't. That's not what I think of, though. I think of the old, like Punch and Judy ones that are
Yeah.
creepy.
I like those too, but for some reason NSYNC, was it like No Strings Attached or something? Was that the name of the thing?
Yes, because it was after they broke up, or not broke up, but dumped.
Someone might have. In fairness, a couple of them might have broken up with each other.
But they dumped their manager because he was stealing from them or some shit.
That dude was a piece of shit.
Yeah, so after that, I think is when they did the breaking off this. It's pretty subtle.
Yeah,
metaphor there.
Yeah, spiritual almost even. Like they were like new NSYNC, No Strings Attached.
Right.
Also puppets without strings.
Right.
Now, what people don't think about puppets without strings, totally fucking useless.
Right. They don't.
No need for them. Throw them in the garbage.
It's no longer a puppet.
Right. It's just a doll. You have a doll now. You had a cool puppet, now you have a doll. It's time for the story.
Yeah. Go.
Enough build up. The Wolf Among Us is getting a second season.
I'm excited about this, but I'm kind of surprised.
Man, people are losing their mind about this. Petitions, again, people just screaming. Websites dedicated to getting a Wolf Among Us 2 for Telltale.
Yeah. Well, I think that I don't know that doesn't necessarily come down to Telltale making a good game. Not that they didn't. The Wolf Among Us was good, but Fables, that comic book, has a huge following.
And maybe that's where this outrage came when they didn't revisit it. But
I think so. I think more people were. It has a very, very vocal and determined cult fan base, and these people very similar, almost like Firefly, similar to what Firefly has. Firefly has a very strong fan base.
I just wish people could let things be. Just one, like, what's so wrong with that game coming out, being awesome, and then going away, and it being a great experience? Like, why do we have to run everything in the ground?
Well, in this situation, I think it comes down to the fact that other than the comics, there's been a lot of talk about different representations for that universe, and there's been none. I mean, they talked about doing a TV show at one time. They've talked about a movie. They've talked about a video game, and
but can't one great experience just exist? Like, did The Last of Us have to have a Last of Us 2?
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but from a marketing and corporate standpoint, that's built in. That's guaranteed money.
Yeah, but that's where you start to lose a little bit of the charm.
Perhaps,
because
yes.
It starts getting treated like guaranteed money. Not by everybody, but by most studios.
But on the flip side of that, we've seen a number of fantastic sequels, not only to games, but to movies.
Yeah, but when I think about something like Life is Strange and the experience you had with that, does it need a prequel and then a sequel? And like, how long before this isn't special anymore?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, that's my fear with a lot of things. It's like, why? Mod Nation Racer, one of my favorite games ever.
The thing is, I think for me personally, I think part of the part of why I was so enamored with Life is Strange is not only because it was a great game, and I will tell anybody out there that you should play it. I mean, it was my game of the year. But not a lot of people wanted to play it, so they didn't. So it still had that little hipster, it's mine thing.
But it's not going to be because they're going to run it in the ground now.
Right. And I understand that, which means they probably won't have the love for those. But
you know, like Mod Nation Racer, one of my favorite games of all time. They never made a sequel. It's always pissed me off, but like, it's okay because what they made in a time and place was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody wants a sequel to everything, and I'm like, I would love to play something new. Like Horizon for me was a breath of fresh air, but now I know that we have to get a Horizon 2.
And I guess part of it comes down to what they do with the sequels. I don't necessarily need a direct extension to the story of a character, but if it's based on world building, that might be different. Like, maybe we don't need, a Wolf Among Us 2. We can have another chapter in that Fables story. Cinderella or whoever. I think it depends on what you're trying to do with that sequel, whether it's world building or following the direct trajectory of a character.
I would just love to see Telltale make a game that was totally original. Why does it have to be anything? Write your own story. See what that looks like.
That's not what Telltale does.
That's not what it does because it's not what it has done this whole time. But like, why? Why do you have to try to sell your game by attaching it to what's popular right now? Can you not make something that's good without it?
Well, I don't know. Popular right now is the right way to put it.
Not with that game, but they do with everything else. Like Game of Thrones, timely. Walking Dead, timely. Minecraft, timely. Like, you're selling it off the name, not off the product. Because people shit on how their engine runs. And,
but they make
things.
But they do make good games based on those properties. They do need to switch up their engines and stuff.
I don't know that they've ever done it better than they did for Walking Dead. I think every game after that has been a little bit of a letdown when you're talking big franchises.
Well, it was new. It was really the first time. And it's when Walking Dead that came out when Walking Dead was really in its prime.
Right. Those games would sell no matter what.
Right.
That shitty third-person like shooter Walking Dead game sold a ton.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
understand your point. It gets to a point where there's a fatigue for it.
Everything doesn't have to have a sequel, and there's some mystique around making something awesome and then moving on.
Yeah, there is. Like, I don't think that we need a Last of Us 2 or a Last of Us 2. I thought the story was told. I thought it was completed. I thought I needed what I needed to know about that world. On the flip side of that, you better believe when The Last of Us 2 comes out, I'm getting it.
Yeah, me too. It's just like I would have loved to have seen Naughty Dog do something totally different.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need Uncharted Lost Legacy. I don't need a Last of Us 2. Like, just go do something else, and it'll be amazing too, because that's what you do. You don't have to rely on this, but I also understand in their situation, they answer to Sony at the end of the day.
Yep, and we've also said a number of times that these sequels are what allow them to have the revenue to create those new IPs.
I will say that with smaller people. With them, I won't say that. They have the revenue. They can make whatever they want. So it's a little different with them, whereas someone like Don't Nod, they need to cash grab right now so they can do something else later. I get that. Makes sense. But then you look at somebody like Supergiant, who made Bastion, then they made Transistor, and now they made Pyre. They made 3 totally unique games.
Yes.
Who have all sold fairly well because they are well done, well composed games. And they're doing that cash grab by building up their studio name, not by making Bastion 2.
Right, which at one point Naughty Dog did.
Yeah, will there be a Bastion 2? Probably. But it's not yet because they're making other good games. People, I didn't like Transistor a whole lot. I liked Bastion, thought it was cool. Some people are the opposite. People are loving Pyre, and it's totally different. It's like a weird sports game, narrative-driven experience. But people are loving it.
I've heard it's really good. I haven't played it, but
people really, really like it. Apparently, it's like a super narrative-driven with like hints of Rocket League style, like handball thing in between.
Interesting.
And there's different endings and different branching paths, and people are really, really loving Pyre. But that's the right way to do it. When you look at somebody like Housemarque, Super Stardust HD, Resogun, Dead Nation, Alien Nation, even sequel but different. Those are different. They have cash grabs in there, and they're HD, Super HD, Ultras, but they keep making new stuff. Nex Machina, totally different. Matterfall, totally different. They're doing different things, even though they're staying in twin stick. They're staying in the same kind of look, but they're building different games. I respect that more than just shit out another Super Stardust, because people will buy it. And
well, I mean, and to speak to that, I mean, what about, is it still considered a sequel? For example, my example here is going to be the prequel to Life is Strange. You're not dealing with the antagonist anymore. They're the main character of Life is Strange. It's going to be someone who was kind of important to the story, but a background character. But that also means that a lot of the mechanics that were important in Life is Strange aren't going to work because the character who used them isn't in this story. So I'm curious what this is, because this is going to be a different game set in the same universe. It has to be, because there's no way that time rewind, fast forward can work. Because that was Max, not Chloe.
But they're cashing in on the name. That's where, to me, where I feel like that's where it feels like a money grab. Because you could have made a different game. Bastion is not Transistor. They're not the same game.
Right.
When you label it Life is Strange, even if it's a totally different game, you're cashing in off the name.
Maybe.
But then you become the studio that makes Life is Strange.
Over time.
If this continues, if it's if this was always the plan, then great. It doesn't feel like it was always the plan.
We don't know where they're at either, because Don't Mod made Remember Me.
But it doesn't feel
tanked.
like. But this doesn't feel like it was the plan. The plan didn't feel like to put Life is Strange out, then to do a prequel, then to do a proper sequel. It didn't feel like that.
Well, if I remember correctly, Don't Nod isn't doing the prequel, are they?
No, but I guess involved in the writing.
Yes.
They're working on the actual sequel to it.
Yes. Which will be Max's story.
Which feels even more like a cash grab now that you got someone else working on another story for it.
I don't have a problem with this kind of stuff because it's universe building. And I love my universes. I can see why it leaves a bad taste in your mouth, because you could give a fuck about that shit.
I mean, it's just like, even if it's a game I love, I mean, that's great. I'll play Little Big Planets till they stop making them. But I would rather see Media Molecule go make Dreams and fail than shit out half-assed, half-hearted Little Big Planets for the rest of their life.
Well, I mean, after we've got 4 Life is Stranges, maybe we'll see Don't Nod do that.
It's just at what point, you hear that from these developers that get locked in on these big games. Like, it's exhausting to make the same shit all the time. Like, it's exhausting to work on Nate Drake for 10 years. Like, it's fine, but those people have ideas that don't all revolve around making Indiana Jones clone. Like, it just sucks to not get to be creative when you're a creative person.
No, and I understand that, and
so even though I'll play the games till the end of time and I'll play sequels forever, I was just bragging about Splatoon 2, an hour ago. But the problem is, like, those people get burnt out, and then good people don't get to make new stuff, and that's I guess it's what you have to lose. In some cases, you're right, it takes money to make their next game. In some cases, their next game never comes because they make the same thing until they fail.
Yes, that's true.
And then they end up having to close down. I don't know. Hope it works. I'm glad that Wolf Among Us is getting a season 2. I know a lot of people who want that.
I'll play it.
I just wonder if that time and energy could have went to like a new engine that didn't suck.
Probably could have. They probably could have done both.
Apparently they cannot do both, with ultra clear on the fact that they cannot continue to make games and upgrade their shit. Ultra clear. People like Batman a lot, though, so maybe it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Maybe it just does not matter.
Telltale has definitely found a formula that people really, really, really enjoy.
Mm-hmm. And they do episodic very well. They're timely with most of theirs. But same thing, you look back, they did Back to the Future, that game kind of sucked.
Yeah, that was their
did Jurassic Park, that game kind of sucked.
Yeah.
Like, they found something, but now they have absolutely... That is a studio of one note.
Yeah.
And if it ever stops working, they are totally fucked.
And sometimes you need those. Sometimes, I mean, that's part of this whole ecosystem of video gaming, is you need the one notes. You need the sequels. It all flows together in the whole circle of life thing, and it's all going to work out for everybody.
I would like to know, though...
It's all very zen.
I would like to know that Telltale can exist if they have 3 bad titles, they can continue to exist. And I don't know that they can right now. My understanding is Telltale is a big-ass team. Like, there are a lot of people that work at Telltale.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know.
You can't afford to have too many misses with something like that.
That's true.
They're selling... You can buy shit for, like... You can buy a pre-sequel for a Borderlands pre-sequel and Walking Dead and all that. Like, they're like a quarter when they're on sale. Like, just any money that's left in those, like, just squeeze every bit of it out.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're a company that can have too many misses, so I don't know.
We'll see.
If everyone who played Wolf Among Us 2 buys, or Wolf Among Us buys the second one, it's probably still not enough to make it worth doing. They've got to bring more people into the franchise to have a big team working on it.
Possibly.
And I don't even know what the Wolf Among Us is. I mean, I know what you've explained it to me, but I still don't even know what it is.
I know.
I might have even bought that game. It might be somewhere. I might have caught it at Target on like a wicked sale and just never played it. In fairness, I've never played any Telltale game other than the first season of The Walking Dead, which I didn't finish. That's it. I have the Tales from the Borderlands. I think I called it the pre-sequel, but I have Tales from the Borderlands. I have Minecraft Story Mode, but I've never played either one of those. And I think I have season 1 and 2 of The Walking Dead. Never played. They're fine. I did play and I think finish Back to the Future. Their shitty one.
Yeah.
Just because I like those characters, like that universe. Now it's time for Gone But Not Forgotten, where we reach back in our gaming past. We dust off an old classic for you. This week it's my turn. And I'm going back to my youth.
Uh-oh.
I'm going back to one of my fondest memories. That has led me to love the things that I love now. And that old EA classic, a company that we've all come to love. Theme Park.
Oh, wow.
Developed by Bullfrog. Remember Bullfrog?
I see how you could love some Theme Park.
Bullfrog Productions. Played this on the PS1. You could have played it anywhere because it came everywhere. But I played it on the PS1. Now, notable, Peter Molyneux worked on this.
Mm-hmm.
Of
Fable fame.
Yeah, Fable fame, or was it Goddess? Goddess? Whatever that fucked up game with 22 cans. He's done a lot of fucked up shit.
Cube? Didn't he do
Cube?
Cube?
He took all that money and pissed people off. And
what was the existential game that he made?
That was the Cube thing, right?
Or was that Lionhead?
No, he made Black and White.
That's yeah.
Yeah. He's made some good stuff. He's fucking up. But he worked on this game as a programmer. So I played it on PS1. Came out on PS1 1996 in North America.
Ooh, what were you, 8? 9?
I was born in 85, so I was 10.
Okay.
And that your imagination is raging at 10 years old. So the idea that someone could hand me a controller and I could build a fucking amusement park was bananas. And that started my love for not only building but for like management, because you're raising the prices of things and lowering the prices. I lower ticket prices but then raise the price of food.
Right.
Because once I get them in, they got to eat. And just that balancing of, oh, this is fucking up, I got to change this, I got to hire more staff to keep the park cleaner, but I can't pass the cost on to my customers because then they'll stop coming, and having to figure that stuff out while also building a badass theme park. And I love that game. I have gone back, I've watched videos. It doesn't really hold up because you've seen this game be done a million times in different ways and better ways.
Yep.
But that first one, fucking incredible. And it was simply just like, oh, you want a wall? Drag the wall as far as you want it to go and let off. You want a roller coaster? Click on the one you want. All right, now it's there. You want to add a dude that walks around in a beaver costume and sweeps trash up? Put a little hut right here.
Here you go.
It was very like SimCity view over the top, and then you're just dragging and dropping the buildings you want to. There was no design there, but I love that game, and I spent hundreds of hours with Theme Park. It was a double disc case on the PS1. I can't remember if it had 2 discs or it just had a fat ass manual in there. And they also had like Theme Hospital, and there was a bunch of the theme games that spun off. Theme Hospital was good too, but it was too complicated for a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
Because I understand theme parks, but I don't understand hospitals at 10. I'm like, fuck it, I'll put a bed in the hallway. I don't know.
That makes sense.
Right. But that's my Gone But Not Forgotten. Check it out. If you have one for us, hit us up on Twitter using the hashtag GBNF for Gone But Not Forgotten. Got anything you want to add?
Nah. Theme park.
What?
Theme park.
Theme park. Check it out. Check it out. You can follow us on the social medias. I am at Podcast Ryan. Dan is at Shirtless Dan. And together we are at Game_Stitch. So be sure to follow us over there. Or at least Dan and Gamestitch. Follow those two. At the very least.
Yes.
Shout-outs. Time for shout-outs. We did the pre-shout-outs. Now we're doing the actual shout-outs.
I don't know if we have any shout-outs.
Did we get any?
No.
So if you support us at the $10 tier over at patreon.com/GameStitch, you have the right to send us a shout-out. If you don't, we'll make one up for you. We don't care. we don't care.
No, we don't.
So we were supported by Thomas and by Garrett at the $10 tier. So it's time for shout-outs. Now, I'm going to let you take one. I'm going to take the other.
I'll take Thomas's.
Okay, now, you want me to go first or you're going to go first?
Go first.
Okay. So this is Garrett's shout-out. Garrett's in the woods right now while we're recording this, potentially.
Yes.
He's balls deep in camping right now.
Yep.
And his shout-out's going to be...
Balls deep. No, that's not a shout-out.
No, his shout-out's going to be... You should take a second to enjoy nature. But fuck, I want to go home and play Fortnite. Buy Fortnite. That's Garrett's shout-out.
Bye.
Also, Wonder Woman, really good.
Fortnite. You're still on Wonder Woman? Yeah, it's actually, apparently it's the top grossing movie of the summer.
Yeah.
So far.
Unlike her paycheck.
Whose? Gal's?
Yeah, little baby paycheck they gave her compared to everybody else.
Gal Gadot's? Oh, so yeah. She's making mega bucks next time.
Yeah, well, she signed a three picture deal up front though.
Yeah, but I think BVS was included in that.
It's going to take lawyers and
she can still she can still.
It's going to get complicated.
It is, but she's also pretty new to Hollywood, so she might be okay with it.
I got a sneeze warming up right now.
Oh, go for it.
I mean, it's not ready, but it's there. Oh. It's like, I'm getting a little twitchy right now.
Gotcha. Are you getting twitchy?
Yeah, so remember, Garrett says, enjoy nature, but only for a second, because Fortnite's calling.
Fortnite is calling.
Now it's time for Thomas.
Thomas also did not send in a shout-out this week. Sorry.
You having a stroke right now?
What's happening? Blanking. Something's going on. I'm blanking. So, Thomas's shout-out this week is going to be check out Brawlhalla. That's spelled BRAWLHALLA.
I think it's free, right? Free to play?
I believe it's a FTP, yes.
He mentioned it on Twitter, but not as an official shout-out.
No, it was not an official shout-out. But I like to keep them close to something they tweeted to what their shout-out is. I like to do that.
Also, Thomas loves blue poop.
He loves blue poop.
It is his PS4 icon. It did inspire the name of last week's episode.
Yes.
So, hats off to blue poop also.
Thomas loves blue poop.
With it like a smiley face on it. It's got a face.
The
blue poop has a face.
It does. It's the two dots with the big smile. Oh, it's a big smile, too.
It's happy about the blue poop.
It loves.
Just happy to exist. Right.
It loves being blue poop.
I never understood what those were, but they're in like 3 or 4 different colors, and they like came factory. Like when PlayStation first got the avatars.
Yeah.
Like built into the system, there's like 5 of those colored poops.
Why? Is it Strawberry Soft Serve ice cream, or
I don't know what it is.
Is it poop?
It looks like poop. It's too thick for soft serve. Huh. Like it's got a little substance to it.
It's just got the swirly, like the emoji.
They're different shape though. There's like a yellow, a blue, and a green at least. There might be another color, but there's at least the 3. And they just look like poop.
Maybe it's pine tree.
Because I had another friend that had the yellow one for a long time.
Oh.
And I always was like, that's only poop. Like, nothing else looks like that. It's just poop. It shouldn't be that. It's like someone took pictures of poop and then used the filters and, like, they changed the color saturation in Photoshop.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. I don't know. This has been episode 1. That's not right. 237. Try to short us 100 episodes. 237 of the official Gamestitch Podcast. Remember, tell your friends about us so more people can listen. And sorry about the first hour of this show. We meant to talk about video games. Didn't happen.
No. Sorry, not sorry.
Dan takes Walmart stance on this.
Sorry, not sorry.
We regret to inform you that we fucked up. Have a nice day.
Yep. Sorry,
also,
mistakes were made.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Everyday low prices.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Just like old Sam intended.
Here's a free shopping cart for you to borrow.
Yeah. Please return. Don't take that. Do not take that. We'll prosecute if you take that. Good night.
Good night.
There's a hard close right there.
Oof.
Sometimes you gotta give people the hard close.